And yeah, as I said, it's just fantastic that there's already ideas floating around, because we start in November, end of November, but gosh, that time does sure creep up quickly, doesn't it? So fantastic to hear that you're all kind of either in the planning phase or just about there. So the regional toolkit we develop each year, and this is the third toolkit, I believe, that I've been involved in developing. We develop it to support organisations, community groups and individuals to be able to participate in, and also to be able to lead their own campaigns and activities and events as part of the campaign, which goes until the 10th of December. Again, same as last year, if you're familiar with what we did last year, it sits on the Women's Health Loddon Mallee website. And Corrine may have already, I can't see the chat, added in there the link to the toolkit, which you can start looking through. But you don't have to, because look, I've given you a little peek there. So that's what it'll look like on the landing page on your phone if you're looking at it from your phone. So you have it. Lots of documents and things like that. There's heaps of information contained. So information about the regional campaign, the international campaign, some more suggestions on ways that communities can get involved, a selection of books, films, TV shows and podcasts around gender equality and preventing violence against women. We've got data and stats, we've got conversation starters, we've got some tips on how to respond and prepare for backlash and resistance, and with the support services. And just a bunch of really great resources referenced throughout as well to be able to support your work. So the theme for this year that we've set is "We can change the story, Loddon Mallee, choose respect." Why this theme? Firstly, because we wanted to align with the Respect Victoria and Safe and Equal theme, their ongoing theme of respect is. We also really wanted the theme to be action-based, and we wanted it to be positive and bring hope. But most of all, we wanted to ensure that the theme was based in the evidence and to draw from evidence-based effective strategies to end violence before it starts. So the wording "change the story" is directly from Our Watch's Change the Story framework. They're the national leader in Australia's primary prevention of violence against women. And they have identified 4 root causes or drivers of gendered violence in our communities and what the most effective strategies are to address those. So I'll read out that fantastic quote, which was from a recent statement from Our Watch. And I think it really rings true. We all want change to happen faster, but social change of this complexity and at this scale takes time. It also takes action and collaboration at every level of our society, from individuals and local communities through to businesses and governments. And that's absolutely true. You know, it takes a collective effort for us to address the drivers of violence, whether it's within our families, within our organisations, our governments, businesses, our systems, and our whole community. So you've already gotten an amazing selection of ideas that you've been discussing in your breakout sessions and that we've heard from Janica and Danny. We've put together some more ideas. There's lots of great ways. I mean, there's 16 ways to get involved, but there are a plethora of ways that you can get involved in 16 days. So I encourage you to check that out if you're a little lost for ideas, or if you want to look at other campaign or project ideas for any time of the year, because these project ideas can work throughout the year. It doesn't have to be just in 16 days that we work to prevent violence. So one of the things that we really encourage is for you to be inclusive and get community involved, because respect is embracing diversity. It's creating a sense of belonging and inclusion, and it's adopting an intersectional approach. So this year in the toolkit, we've got a bit more of a broader focus on being inclusive and intersectionality, because to achieve equality and respect for everyone, gender inequality cannot be seen as separate from other forms of discrimination and disadvantage that women and gender diverse people can experience. So in terms of violence against women, while we know that all women can experience violence, discrimination, and disadvantage, we know that some women and gender diverse people will experience it more often and more deeply. And we know that this happens because of structural barriers, and we know that it also happens because of attitudes towards things like Aboriginality, age, sexuality, cultural identity, and social class. So we've also put together a list of ways that you can put intersectionality and inclusion into action, because I think that's really important. Like, we kind of have this framework for what is intersectionality, but how do we actually activate it? I won't go through, we're running a little short on time. I won't go through those examples with you, but strongly encourage you to partner and work alongside, co-design, co-deliver with other local organisations, other groups, work alongside your Aboriginal communities, work alongside LGBTQI+ groups, multicultural communities, and people work or people that have disabilities or work with people with disabilities. Invite those people to lead, invite those people to speak, and invite them to co-design. But that section around diversity and inclusion, you'll find on the landing page of the 16 Days website. So I strongly encourage you to check that out and get intersectional. Have conversations, but be prepared. Because we know that engaging in conversations around gender equality and gender-based violence are absolutely essential for shifting attitudes and beliefs and behaviours, so that we can strive for a gender equal future and prevent violence before it starts. So we've developed a set of conversation starters to support you to take part in informal conversation with colleagues, family, friends. There are also conversation starters that you could use in a more formal setting. You know, if you were putting on an event or a conversation event in person or online. Important to keep in mind that conversations can be challenging. They might bring up emotions for people. They might be difficult. So consider this before you start any conversations. Make sure that you feel safe, supported, and prepared. And to assist your preparation, we've also put together some tips for responding to backlash and resistance. But do keep in mind that if you do meet resistance, that's probably an indication that you are successfully and effectively getting a message out there. You're reaching people and you're working to challenge those beliefs and those norms and those structures and those practices. So you'll find plenty of resources on that page responding to resistance to support that work. Evidence. We've compiled some local stats, we've compiled facts as part of the toolkit, and this section contains data and visual graphs relating to family violence and sexual assault in the Loddon Mallee, as well as local data for each of the 10 LGAs, local government areas. So you'll be able to find data directly related to where you are. I just love how the video works all by itself. There we go. So fancy. I love this section too, because this is where the Women's House Loddon Mallee staff got to put a bit of their signature here into the toolkit. This is recommendations from our staff. The top books, films, TV series, podcasts, and kids books that they recommend this year that are around gender equality and prevention of violence. There's a really great and diverse selection this year, and we strongly encourage you to take a look. You might find that some of the books are suitable to share in your book club. There's kids' books, as I mentioned, maybe some suggestions there for library story times, always a good one. And also community film screening, there's some great films in there. Speaking of community film screenings, we've actually got Equal the Contest, which is one of the recommended films from our staff in the recommended resources. Equal the Contest will be screened in Bendigo on the 11th of September. We're screening it at the Bendigo Tennis Centre. So if you're in that area, please come along. That's in collaboration with Thorn Harbour Country, Sports Focus, and Greater Bendigo Shire. I wouldn't be a comms person without promoting something extra while I'm here. Campaign resources. So I call this today the soft launch because we are not launching the campaign resources today. We'll be launching those in a couple of weeks, and we'll call that the hard launch. So you'll find in mid-September, we'll have Zoom backgrounds, email banners, selfie frames, statement cards, Respecters challenge cards, which I'll go into more soon, and chalk stencils. You can see here we've got quite the graffiti artist in our midst at Women's Health Loddon Mallee. Sel has become quite an expert, and there she is spraying up a storm. So Women's Health Loddon Mallee created these last year, these stencils, and we've distributed 35 stencils and cans of orange mark-out paint across the region. Don't worry, mark-out paint is removable, it's not permanent. And one of the ways that you can get involved this year is to paint your town orange. And what a fantastic way this is of getting a really strong, clear message out in orange across your town. So I really encourage you to get amongst it. So the organisations or groups that currently hold those 35 stencils are encouraged to share those throughout so that others can get involved. Maybe some local teams want to get involved and paint the town orange. So yeah, we strongly encourage that, and they can be used not just on the pavement but also in shop windows and things like that. And I have personally absolutely loved seeing these out and about in our region. Latest one I saw was in Maryborough at the train station on the pavement there, and I was just absolutely stoked to see it. So thank you so much, everyone, for getting on board with this. For those that actually don't know where their Respect Women 16 Days stencils are in their town, we've also got the file available through the toolkit. So if you go to the campaign resources page, you'll be able to download that file, and you can either do it with paper, cut it out yourself, do it DIY, or you could get it printed more plasticky like we did. Hashtag Respect is Challenge. So this is something that we started, Women's Health Loddon Mallee started this last year. It's a social media hashtag, basically, and it's a way of us trying to get messages of respect and equality flooding our social media feeds across our region. The Respecters Challenge hashtag is unique to our region. So I think that's an exciting thing about it. And also last year we got really good uptake on it, and I expect that we're going to get at least double this year. So it will take all of you to get on board though. So please use that hashtag. We've also developed, as you can see, our beautiful team there, aren't we gorgeous? Holding up those Respecters Challenge social media cards, thingies, resources. With lots of great messages about what respect is. So you can use those, and that is part of the Respecters Challenge. But we encourage you to use the Respecters Challenge hashtag anyway. And we're also going to put it out soon. Ciel's going to guide us through a bit of a brainstorm about other hashtags that we might use this year for our campaign. So yeah, it doesn't require a lot of effort. Get your team together, get everyone involved, and flood social media. Another element that we added last year, which has been really successful, and that we're hoping will have even greater uptake this year, is the 16 Days Regional Event Hub and Calendar. So last year we had 32 events listed, and you can see one of our users said it was useful seeing all the events in one place and being able to share the link to invite others to attend. And that's absolutely fantastic that was their response to the evaluation survey on the toolkit, because that was exactly what we were hoping for. You are able to go in there and search just within your local government areas. So for example, if you're in Macedon Ranges and you want to see only what's in Macedon Ranges over 16 days, you'll be able to tick the box, and those events and activities will come up for you. But I do encourage you to check out what's happening across the whole region, because as you know, we live in a fairly online world these days, so there's lots of things that will be happening online as well. And who knows, the thing happening in your town, in the town next door, or the LGA next door, might be just as relevant to you where you are. Groups can submit their events through a really simple form, which is linked through the toolkit. You can share a photo and your event description and all the other key details. It's pretty simple, but if you do have any issues, you're absolutely welcome to get in touch with us and we'll pop it up for you. And last but not least, in the toolkit this year is the support services. It's really important through our campaign and through our activities that our partners and community organisations across the Loddon Mallee region really highlight those support services and information, make sure that they're there on the table or visible through your online events and activities. And that is linked through the toolkit as well.